I think COVID-19 has changed everything about the workplace and the office. The way we travel to work, the way we interact and socialize at work, our human interactions, they've all completely changed. And I think the workplace would normally be seen as a place of safety or a place of security, whereas now it's a place that potentially brings risk. So I think it's very important as employees, as colleagues, and as managers to think very carefully about risks in the workplace, to follow government or public health service advice, and just really keep an eye on everything to make sure that the workplace remains a place of safety and security. The way to approach it is start off is to engage with your employees, is to talk to them and explain to them what you've done in the office or the workplace. What have you changed from the time they left, say in March? What have you done differently? What signage maybe have you put into the workplace? How have you reduced the density? If your floor, say, is accessible by lifts, what have you or your landlord done to make changes? So tell employees about the changes that you've made. Make clear to them, I would suggest, that returning is not obligatory. Those who want to return, I use the phrase willing and able. It's very important to have discussions with your colleagues to understand who's willing and wants to return and has the capability. Not everybody, for reasons, say, of looking after family members or childcare, not everyone is actually able to return to the workplace, even if they're willing. Talk to them, talk to your team about what you've done on things like cleaning, your normal cleaning regime and rotas. How have you changed it? What have you done? What are your requirements about things like PPE, mask wearing in common areas? Tell your team members whether they can or can't use social areas, for example. Can they use the fridges? So the thing I would say is engage and talk to your colleagues, your teams, and share with them all of the things that you've done, and listen to them about their individual and personal reasons about why it is or it isn't the right thing for them to return to the workplace. As employers, you owe a duty of care towards your team members, and it's important to share with everybody what you've done. And some people in this environment thrive by working from home. Others loathe it, and it's important to make sure that you're creating an environment where it's right for everybody to either stay at home or to return, to support colleagues with technology, and to make the workplace available for as many people who want to and can come back. I think it's worth thinking about the long-term impacts of working from home, because I'm not sure we've really thought that through and understood the difference in workplace between working from home, for many is a very isolated way of working, versus coming to the workplace. Mental health and well-being are absolutely key and should be at the top of every manager and employer's mind all the way through the period we've seen of lockdown and going forward, to make sure that what you're doing with your business, your company, works for everybody within that business, so you're not creating discrimination. For example, if you're having team meetings going forwards and maybe some of the team members are joining by video, like Zoom, for example, and some people are in the room in your office, it's very easy to focus on the people that you can see physically in a room and disregard and ignore other people. So make sure you're not discriminating against those colleagues who've got very legitimate reasons to stay at home and creating two tiers within the office or the organisation. I think you have to maybe look at a few sectors or parts of the business world to get a perspective on it. It's easy maybe to think that office-based roles are safer than, say, those where people are all compressed together. For example, businesses where there's mass gatherings, so maybe pubs, restaurants, shops, you're getting a lot of people coming together very close to each other. So you have to think very carefully about those. Offices, you might say, bring a certain group of your employees back, and one of them might inadvertently or unintentionally bring coronavirus into the workplace. So you've got to make sure that you keep the protections and maybe don't get all of your business all working at once. The agribusiness, agricultural, typically would use seasonal workers. Do you know how they've traveled to work? What other people they're mingling with outside of the workplace? Manufacturing, again, you might have people working in very close proximity. So it's important really to look across the sectors and think about the contacts, the social interactions people have at work as well as at home, and traveling to and from the workplace. I think one of the biggest trip hazards for business is losing their reputation. And I think it would be very easy to lose your reputation in this current environment, maybe by reopening your workplace too soon, bringing the coronavirus into it, having to close, maybe colleagues becoming sick. And so I think your brand and your image and your reputation is on the line the whole time. And therefore, amongst other reasons, it's one of the things you have to really think carefully about as you reopen your business. But also it's important to act responsibly and with empathy as an employer as well, to make sure that you're doing all of the right things collectively for your colleagues in the workplace, as well as those people individually. You don't want to do anything that runs the risk of damaging your brand, your business, your reputation.